few other things going around. You'll see once you start like removing stuff, like stuff don't like, it looks right, it don't make sense. You get what I'm going, like you'll start seeing like the evidence of like what needs to come out. Alright, so I hope you guys can see good. I'm going to try to talk loud. We are going to attempt to remove the water pump. So I already went ahead and removed the intake box. Get that out of there. There's, I believe, electrical connection inside, probably the PCM. I don't know. I don't care. I moved it off to the side. Now I'm looking for some pliers because actually I use plain pliers because I want to remove this upper coolant hose, and I'm just beginning the process really. So what if I already removed the intake box? You should be lucky, goddammit. So let's get this off, and we're just gonna like let it drain. Oh, I don't like how that happened. Let's get some pliers. Finish backing that off. This is exactly why I prefer pliers over this sometimes. Now it's already locked into place. Be careful, watch your finger, because it will snap back at you. So on these hoses, you kind of gotta like wiggle them off and twist them because they've been on there for a minute. Sometimes if that don't work, you can grab a thick pry bar or like me, grab a screwdriver and then start wedging it off. And be careful not to wedge up on anything that could damage something. Come on. Those guys got like those special hook pliers that like to work. Those pick pliers for this case. I did have one from like Harbor Freight a while back, but I don't even know what happened since then, and I personally don't care. So I'm gonna like let that leak out. I got a catch can up underneath, and put your finger in here. You should feel the thermostat. So if you want to go ahead and do a thermostat while it's sitting right there, now would be a good time. And let's get the other clamp off. So I'm like freestyling. Whenever you watch me, I freestyle. Not all the time. I'll let you know when I'm telling you I'm freestyling, that means I'm working out of routine basically. I don't do this particular job on a goddamn daily basis. So in this case, it might be better to use the regular pliers. Why? Because I keep pressure on it. Just as much as I need. Then we're gonna slide that guy backwards if you can get him back. If not, then I don't know what to tell you. Now this clamp, it's a little fluky. I want to spray this up with some water, soapy water, so that way it can get all up in the rubber and soften up. All right, next I want to grab a 13 millimeter. Why am I grabbing a 13 millimeter? Because we are going to remove a nut that goes for this pipe right here. Just get that off, put you up in there. Now I got room to wiggle this pipe off. Wiggle this. You might gotta wiggle the pipe at the same time. That's exactly what I'm doing. Somehow it will finesse this way off. Try to be careful. Might need to get up in there with two guys. Come on. I want to replace this clamp with a one of those spiral clamps. I like those anyway. Here we go. Now I should be able to wedge this guy out a little bit. Let's see if we can. Now another trick I like to do with the pliers is spread them out, give them a twist of motion, free up that corrosion in the inside or that build up. It likes the oxidation, whatever they call it nowadays. Let's see if I can walk it off. And that's like that corrosion shit I was telling you about. And what else? Next, getting the upper coolant hose off. I thought I did the upper. That was the lower. So if I told you that was the upper, that was the lower. But if you got common sense, you know what the hell it was anyway. So let's get this clamp off. Go ahead, it's out of here. thing was low on coolant from the first place. So set that there for a second. Move you out the way. Put the drain the coolant from below. So let that drip out on its own. Next, I want to get this shield off. To get this shield off, for at least I'm going to get the undo the tensioner so that way I can get the bed off. So there's a shield that go around this assembly. So you have two nuts, one right here, and there's another nut right there, and 10 millimeter, like I said. So let me get the ratchet. That bolt up here disappeared, so I ain't even gonna worry about it. I got a ton of bolts laying around here, so I'll just replace it with another one. Don't have butterfingers like me. But if you lose some, make sure you replace it. Next, you're gonna put the cylinder number 1 at top dead center. And once you get it at top dead center, crank it over another 20 degrees, and then you'll be able to get this belt off. Just like that. If you want to do the tensioner, which you should, because this belt is stripping anyway, so we gotta go to the parts store and get another one, because I believe he ain't get one. But they say the tensioner is the reason why the pump always go. That's what they say. One more. And remember, you can't get this belt out until you get the tensioner out. So, however works out for you, I really don't care. This is what works for me. And then you could just literally finesse this belt behind the, look like I got room to finesse it behind the pulley, so that's what I'm gonna do. Next, we're gonna do the bolt for the dipstick. It's a nut, I mean. And you don't have to take that off all the way, because it got like a slot on the bracket where you could just back the bolt off a little bit and then it'll come right out. I guess I would need to remove the nut, even though I said I shouldn't remove it. Let me get this in a Ziploc bag. I don't want to lose my bolts for it. So I'm starting to get way too many on a cow. Yeah, that's like a studded combo setup with the stud, and you put the nut on it. Cool, whatever. Next, it looks like I'm going to work my way around this thermostat housing. So it looks like we got 1, 2. I'll try to get at the bottom. 3, and then it should be a 4th one buried like under here somewhere, but you can still get to it with like a decent extension. So let's get those bolts off, and then once I get the bolts off, I should be able to remove this whole housing. And like I said, I'm not removing the whole housing. Why? Because only there is a leak in this section, and I'm not getting myself in trouble. I barely, not saying I don't want to do the job, but I'm tired of General Motors, and then like they're flawless designs. Let's start with this. All right, got 3 more at the bottom. It's gonna be fun to get to those. I went around the that crossover pipe just to check the gaskets, and they're not leaking. And because they're not leaking, I'm not replacing it. Like I said, I really don't want to work on this car. Why don't I want to work on this car? Because I'm tired of General Motors. I really am. I'm not saying I'm like tired, but certain cars like this and the way they stuck everything in here, I'm cool. I'd rather just fix a problem rather than going in and trying to do really the cost of me doing this job is just, it's really not like worth it. It only pays enough just to do the water pump, and anything else, no, I'm not doing nothing additional, just this, because that's it. I'm tired. I'm really tired, and I owe nobody no excuse, because this is what I do for a living. General Motors. So let's get this bolt off. Looks like I can't even. There we go. All right, so that leaves us with 2 more bolts to get this housing off. All right, that's 1. I'm going in a bag, so we got 2 more. And it look like I need to get an extension for here. Set you up. I could be wrong on the bolt count. It probably was 4. Who cares? You. All right. Let's get this last guy out at the bottom, all the way at the bottom. If you can't see, close your eyes and use your imagination, because I'm closing my eyes and using mine. I can't see this bolt. I'm like literally, I see it a little bit, but I'm closing my eyes. I can feel it. Get your ass on there. Come on. Come on. Now, let's try to sneak this bolt out. Imagine you might have a hard time. But for me, it's nothing a magnet can't take care of. So let's see if we can get up in there. Get your ass out. We got you. Cool. Back you up. Put you to the side. And let's see if we can get this pipe off. What I'm going to do is grab my little... Here we go. I didn't hit it hard. I just lightly tapped it. If you want to use like one of those rubber ones, you can. Cool. We leaking. So now let's get this whole housing off. And now you see the water pump that is exposed. Looks like I'm salty as hell. When I say salty as hell, like super salty. So I gotta take off the whole crossover pipe because back of the housing itself for the water pump is hard as hell to get to the bolts. Once you get the bolts off, yeah, you can slide it back. How you can get the whole pump out unless you remove the cylinder head? It's up to you. You want to remove the cylinder head. I'm gonna start with the hardest bolt. It's like 13mm bolts going around the housing itself, for at least the crossover pipe. You see one guy I'm touching right there, but if you go straight down on like diagonal, you'll see one buried, actually two more at the bottom. I'm going to get in there with a snubby and a stubby and a ratchet wrench, and then I'm going to work my way up to get to the top bolts and work my way from here, and then get the ones down there, and then maybe finesse a few things out the way, like brackets and all of that good stuff and connectors around like the throttle body, and I'll be able to get the whole crossover pipe. So mind you, this is not like an exact how-to, but I'm letting you know like a guide what it is you need to do, or it's actually, it is a how-to video, but I'm not going to walk you all the way. Why? Because y'all niggas ain't paying me. So it looks like it's good in this position. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the top. I did the bottom ones, which I pointed out, and the reason why I muted is because monetization purposes, and I had music playing, so it doesn't matter. And the top one's out. And assuming you already had disconnected everything you needed, as far as like the throttle bodies, there will be some connectors like the throttle body connector, the not the mass airflow sensor, but the map sensor, and a few other things going around. You'll see once you start like removing stuff, like stuff don't like, it looks right, it don't make sense. You get what I'm going, like you'll start seeing like the evidence of like what needs to come out. There's a bracket, I'll tell you when I get the whole thing out. So now let's worry about the bolts. Get that out. And these bolts are different size bolts, so I guess you know to be careful, right? Gonna have to explain that to you. That was a long one. Then it looked like it might be my last bolt right here. I'm not sure, but what I will do is give it a try anyway. So let's get those. 1, 2. Now I'm going to scope one more time around this whole housing. But if I was looking at it right, oh, I got one more bolt. I got one more bolt. If I lift this up, that guy up in there, I need to get that out. Try it. Come on. All right, we out. So, I won't be able to get that boat out all the way. Why? That's just how they made it. So let's see if I can. Now I'm able to move the whole housing, so let's see what else I need to take off. A few things, and if you hear like the camera make a popping noise, it's because I got my gloves on and it's around a mic on the camera. So I said connections, get your basic connections. The brake booster, I went ahead and separated the valve off of the brake booster. I meant like the brake booster hose. I was trying to wiggle it off here, but it was on there like super tight. I don't know if that like hose is like original or whatnot, but it's on there. It's a new gasket, probably from the last time I did some type of work on it. I don't remember that gasket. It's new. Disconnected the connector for the mass airflow sensor. There's going to be another connector, I assume, for whatever sub harnesses this is. Probably for like knock sensors or fuel. I don't know. Whatever what this sub connector is for. There is a bracket on it, so there's a 10mm bolt that I end up like leaving in place, just so I know to like get that back in there without a problem. I don't know why my light keep dropping, probably because I keep making it drop. Another thing in the rear, we can get lighting in the rear. That EGR valve, why can't I get what I need? This guy right here, you see the EGR valve, but there is a pipe that goes to the manifold itself, or at least the crossover pipe on the back side. There's a 13mm bolt you can take off, and you'll know which one it is because it looks the same color as the flange. So back that out, and it is flexible, so don't stress about why you can't get it out. This hose right here is going to come off of the purge valve, the connector for the purge valve. Separate that. This right here goes back to the intake boot, assuming you already knew about that because you already took it off, along with the throttle body needs to come out. What else? We got a hose right here. It's a clamp for it. Get that out the way because it goes into like the snorkel part of this whole crossover pipe. But one last thing I need to do is there is some clamps. If you could see, this one guy, like, I don't know if you can see it, like that guy, move, that guy right there, right? So basically it's a band clamp on the back side of this throttle body. The one you need to remove is the one for the rear. It's two of them. You can do, I guess, whatever you want to do. I'm going to do the one that's closest to the throttle body itself, and that looks like a 7mm or 8mm. And once you get that off, you should be able to get this whole crossover pipe out without a problem, with small problems, but you got it. All right, I switched to the headset, so I end up moving the box over, but let me put this on my neck, my headlamp, because it works for your ears and your neck. So let's get it around my neck, assuming the back part ain't dirty. And where's my work light? Need this guy. So let's work it out. It looks like I might have some bolts in the rear that need to get pushed back into the housing, so that way it's not like in the way of anything, and that seems to me to be like clear. So it looks like I need to somehow finesse my way over this this pulley. Let's see. So it looks like the issue is maybe I got finesse it. That's what it is. So try to get as much hoses as you can out the way. Make sure y'all tipping too. When I say tip, dejame una propina, porfa. Leave me a goddamn tip. Like I figured out something. Let me get another light for y'all. Let me see. Put another light there, so we got something good going on with some. All right, so let's go. Let's try it again. So it looks like we are caught up in between a hose, or it looks like a bunch of connections, and looks like I need to actually, let me try to lift this up over here, like overlap it. So that means I need to get that back down where it was. So let me finesse. Come on, and get your ass back down there. Lift up, and then I need to come up on this because I need this to come up. Trying to work my way of getting this damn fuel line out. Why? Porque me molesta. Alright, ahora tengo el espacio adecuado, and you're gonna leak fuel. Who cares? Get that out the way. Make sure you don't get you in the eye, so just tuck it back somewhere and make sure it don't fling back at you. Now we got that out the way. Let's see if I can finesse it over. It looks like we are still stuck over. Get your ass over there. Come on, let's try something. Dame algo, dame algo. Porfa, come on. Oh, here we go. Ooh, this is some thick ass. It's the engine harness, really. It seemed to be in the way. So now what could be the problem? And I'm gonna angle this out. Let me get some more hoses back here. And looks like I got the whole thing out. Woo! Oh my God. There's a few gaskets. Make sure you replace those. You got a pair right here. You see those two? And then you got the other two in the rear. Son importantes. If you want to do the coolant sensor, this sensor is like very close. You can get to it without a problem. Ahora hasta el final del video, y yo sé que yo hablaba mucho y por eso voy a tratar de hablar un poco rápido para ti, porque yo sé que quieres seguir con el trabajo y estoy interrumpiéndote. Es un gran problema. Bueno, si tienes preguntas o tú necesitas mi ayuda, simplemente tienes que dejarme un comentario y voy a responderte cuando tenga tiempo. Este tipo de trabajo, yo creo que es mejor que tengas ¿cómo se llama? Algún tipo de ayudante con el proceso, porque hay ciertas partes que me costaron un problema, pero no te dije nada porque es lo que hago. Soy yo. I'm a goddamn soldier. No voy a quejarme de nada. Pero yo creo que estoy terminando. Nos vamos.